So intersectionality to me is how people's different identities and different parts of their identities create different circumstances for them that change the way they interact with the world around them. That would be different than people that don't identify the same way as them.
So basically it's just understanding how different aspects of the social status of gender, race, I even take into account height, everything, and it's just multiple factors that give you advantages and disadvantages amongst the workplace or team or even family. So growing up, it honestly has never really been that bad for me, and the location I was in for high school, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it actually was, which is very grateful because obviously some people it's not the best experience in sports and even in classrooms. But being at Kean, it's been a really positive experience. With volleyball, even with swimming, it has never really been an issue. I've never felt excluded or anything that seemed out of the norm for me. So it's very heartwarming because, like I said, some situations are not always the best. And I haven't noticed it from other sports or other friends that I've had of color or any type of different social status and stuff like that. It's never really been a big issue at Kean, which I'm very grateful for.
Growing up, I usually was one of the only person of color playing soccer on the field, and I never really had that interfere me, even though I saw the physical difference, but I still kept playing and I never let it affect my athletic performance, and I'm glad that I didn't let that affect me.
So in my sport, I actually really haven't noticed that much about how I'm kind of an ethnic minority and I'm also a female. It's honestly never really kind of impacted the way I've interacted with my teammates or any of the teams I've played against, which is something that I've always appreciated growing up because I never really noticed that I was a minority until I've kind of had to celebrate it more and learn to appreciate it as I've grown up. So really not being made out to notice it or being singled out or excluded is something that I'm really proud of as an athlete at Kean or just in general.
Many people that look like me really don't play men's volleyball. It's predominantly a white Caucasian sport, but growing up I was always fitting in with different types of people and I could always fit in and be a people person, so it never really stopped me.
The one thing I want to touch on is Title IX, and that started in 1972, which is great because that legally gave women the same equal chances as men. But obviously behind doors, that's a completely different topic because on legal status, yes, we are given the exact same opportunities, but that doesn't mean that we are really given that opportunity. And an example I can think of is the NBA and WNBA. You hear all about the Final Four and the NBA teams and all of that, but you don't really get much social media coverage for the women's part of NBA. And same with volleyball, I feel you hear more about women's teams in terms of collegiate athletes, but professional, you hear a lot more about men's teams and international teams and all of that. And I feel with young girls growing up, that can create a lot of, I would say, frustration because, everyone works just as hard. It's not, put aside men that do work really hard too, because athletes all work very hard. And it's just, I don't know, still a very different feeling in general. It's an aura that's around us. It's you hear about the football team, the baseball team, the basketball team and all of that. And I feel women's sports are just right under it. And it's we're almost there, but not quite there yet.
And we have women like Serena Williams, Alex Morgan, and Simone Biles who are dedicated to a number of important causes, from racial justice to equal pay, equality with women in sports, and they are proving every day that women are capable of doing anything they put their minds to.